Okay, for remembrance, I'm going to read this chapter book 10 True True Tales World War II Heroes. Okay, Chapter 1 The War and Its Heroes. Powerful, ruthless countries rolled out their fearsome war machines in the 1940s and fanatical attempt to rule the world. It was up to the defenders of freedom to stop them. Answering the call, courageous soldiers, sailors, airwomen, airmen, and marines, everything left up them to preserve liberty of tens of millions of people around the globe. Actually, it was billions of people around the world. Most horrific war in history. World War II started after Germany, led by dictator Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party, invaded Poland in 1939 and caused Great Britain and her allies and France, which were allies of Poland, to declare war on Germany. German forces, the Nazi forces invasion, then occupied Denmark, Norway, Belgium, Holland, Luxembourg, France, Yugoslavia, Greece, Italy teamed up with Italy. Greece did not. Italy teamed up with Germany, and together they toppled British forces in North Africa. By summer 1941, Germany had conquered most of Western Europe and attacked the Soviet Union for nearly 6 years. The Nazis battled destroyed Great Britain with devastating air assaults night after night, but the Germans underestimated the fearsome resolve of the British and our allies, which put up a steady resistance. For 2 years, the USA stayed out of the war, although it sent a steady team of vital supplies to the UK. Meanwhile, on the other side of the world, Japan, which had invaded China in 1930, was trying to conquer East and Southeast Asia, disrupt protests from the USA. On December 7th, 1941, Japan launched surprise attacks against several countries as well as the American naval base at Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. The USA had no choice but to declare war on Japan, Germany, and Italy, the three major countries that formed an alliance called the Axis powers. USA joined the Allied powers, which was made up of dozens of nations that opposed the Axis powers. The Allies, spearheaded by the USA, UK, the Soviet Union, Australia, and Canada, and New Zealand, and all the other allies of Britain. The American military, Army, Air Corps, known as the Air Force, Navy, Marines, and Coast Guard, were forced to fight German and Italian forces in Europe, as well as the Japanese throughout the South Pacific. After devastating setbacks, the Allies relied and began winning ranging battles in Europe and successfully invaded Italy in 1943. On the 6th of June 1944, forever known as D-Day, the Allies launched the world's greatest invasion at Normandy and France. Less than a year later, drove the Germans out of Western Europe, liberating all once conquered countries. Germany finally surrendered on 8th of May 1949 in the South Pacific region. The Japanese scored major victories early in the war, but the Allied forces fought back with a vengeance. American subs blocked supplies of oil and raw materials to Japan, and Allied invasions of key islands such as Iwo Jima and Okinawa forward crippled the Japanese. On August 15, 1945, just days after the U.S. dropped the first nuclear bombs on Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the Empire of Japan surrendered. World War II, which involved more than 70 nations, resulted in deaths of estimated over 60 million people, making it the deadliest conflict in record history. The men and women in the U.S. and the Allied forces paid their dear price for victory. 406,000 killed and another 617 seriously wounded. Those fighting for all the countries were everyday citizens who felt duty bound to protect the valuable lives which made the world great. An untold member of the found deep within themselves courage, didn't know how flagrant, and found out fields of France and dogfights over the flak field skies of Belgium, in hand-to-hand combat to the bloody blows of Okinawa. The Allies discovered an intense bravery spread through to the reach far beyond personal limits. This became the heroes of World War II. You're about to read the grouping of 10 of these accounts are based on memories, battles reports, and military files using real names, dates, and places. The stories are written as fictional versions of the heroism, although such the term along has been recreated for realism, as dialogue contains a few words referring to the Japanese and German soldiers that by today's standards are considered offensive, but were commonly used in the heat of combat back then. Most of the heroes fighting in this book carried the Medal of Honor and the Victoria Cross of the Allied forces and Hero of the Soviet Union. For valor and combat above and beyond of duty of over 20 million Allied soldiers who served in World War II, only 440 were awarded the medal, including 230 service died. These 10 stories spotlight soldiers, sailors, air personnel, and Marines who started the enemy and death in the face and still managed to carry out their missions. They were among these first for heroic decisions, fears. These were the ones who succeeded against overwhelming odds. They were the ones who helped win the war and save the world. That's the end for the first chapter. I'll read chapter 2 tomorrow, and if you see a veteran, thank them. And yeah, I'm so happy that we won World War II, because if we didn't, I wouldn't be able to read this book or make my YouTube videos. So yeah, hope you have a good day. And yeah, I'll read chapter 2 tomorrow.